Hi, I'm Chris Stirewalt, and this is Power Play. So how did Triumph the insult comic dog get to be a front runner in the Republican nomination? Easy. He was the only one who could compete with Donald Trump on throwing down the smackdown. In the Twitter era, the Instagram video era, put down politics has gotten really intense in the Republican field. It's not about Ronald Reagan saying, "There you go again" to Jimmy Carter. It is full blowtorch in the face. Who will survive? Who will be destroyed, burnt to a crisp? People who know include Ariel Cohen. She is of the Washington Examiner and replete with excellence. Also replete with excellence is Kevin Cirilli from The Hill. Guys, how are we doing?
Doing well.
I like how you checked with each other. We're both doing well. Feels okay. Kevin, I want to start with you. When Jeb Bush's campaign talks about what do you do, so Donald Trump goes out every day and he says that he has huge crowds and Jeb Bush has very small crowds. And he says that Jeb Bush is very low energy. He is basically, as somebody said on MSNBC, is he emasculating him. So Jeb Bush says, "You're not going to push me around. I'm coming back. I'm fighting back." Is that the right choice, number one? Number two, is it effective?
I think if you look at the latest Iowa poll that came out this week, I mean, you look at the top three people in Iowa right now, 23% for Trump, 23% for Ben Carson, 10% for Carly Fiorina. Who would have thought that 56% of the Republican electorate right now would be wanting a non-political or non-career politician? I mean,
Right.
There's this. So, has it been effective? I think that
is it
it's
being
too
effective?
early.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Maybe you'll bite on my question. Will it be effective? Can Jeb Bush fight back? I mean, Donald Trump can say anything, he can do anything, he can swing as hard as he wants. And so far at each, the rejoinders have been pretty vicious both ways.
Well, with this, as you say, like the modern Twitter sphere for elections, people think it's a joke that they're going back and forth at each other like this, but it's not a joke to the people who are supporting Donald Trump and the people that are supporting Jeb Bush right now. It's very serious, and they sort of see this takedown method, as you will, as the best way to get to each other's throats.
All right. Well, so I watched as people like Rick Perry and Lindsey Graham and others tried to get in the discussion by sort of getting beef with Donald Trump. Like, oh yeah, you said that about me? Most of the rest of the field has changed its approach. Most of the rest of the field now is sort of hooding its eye at Donald Trump, and Jeb is doing it. Does that deprive the rest of the field of oxygen? And if so,
I think totally Mr. Trump has deprived the rest of the field of oxygen. I mean, he makes Chris Christie look soft-spoken. And so you really can't get to a point heading into the second debate if you're someone like Chris Christie or Rick Perry or Bobby Jindal or anyone else who was the flavor of the month. You've got to, you can't just sit around and wait for another candidate to collapse, because let's say, for example, Dr. Carson or Mr. Trump, that 23% in Iowa suddenly disappears or one of them drops out. Do you really think the 23% of the Ben Carson supporters are Jeb Bush supporters? So there's this weird vacuum and everything's in flux, and but no one knows.
Yeah, but Ben Carson's not out tweeting slams on anybody. He is the nicest, nice person. I mean, he's the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. Explain that in the context.
Well, Ben Carson, people just love him. When you see him giving speeches in homes, at these political rallies, and I've never seen anything like it. People, they just stand up, they applaud, they cry, they laugh. He just has this appeal that you don't see anybody else in the party having right now. And he does have that outsider status, as you were saying. And something that's really benefiting him is as Bush and Trump just get at each other, Ben Carson's just slowly going up in the polls. So their fighting almost benefits him.
I think Carly Fiorina, though, is the one to watch. And I think the second debate, if she's able to get on this stage, it's really going to be a battle of the boardroom between someone like Carly Fiorina and Donald Trump. I think that she's, if you look a little bit at some of the attacks.
So it's going to be like The Apprentice, but with,
better.
But with the nuclear
really
football,
huge.
with the nuclear launch codes in the mix, instead of just being on Geraldo's team for the next round.
But I think that she can be able to speak to that outsider perspective and take him on in a way that the other candidates can't.
I smell what you're smoking. I'll buy that. My advice is Jeb Bush should watch the video of Triumph the Insult Comic Dog when he goes to the opening of Episode 1 of Star Wars, and he asks the guy who is playing Darth Vader, he's got the Darth Vader costume, he's come to throw Triumph out, and he says, which one of these buttons do you push to have your mom come and pick you up?
Barber. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he needs, guys. We needed you, and you were here for us. And you, Internet, we always need you so that we can watch insulting videos and have a good time. And we hope you will come back for more Power Play real soon.